Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to the Techness Corner with your host, Seb Luca. Sup, y'all? Well, that's peace, so I'll be saying goodbye, y'all. But anyway, look, it's another one of those days at the Techness Corner where we have gone through a whole ultra beverage over there of the Pepsi Max. And it's come down to the end, and unfortunately, oh, look at what we got here. Look at that. That is a beautiful card. That is a beautiful card. And I'll tell you what, guys, if it wasn't for warranty right now, if it wasn't for the fact that this thing has to go onto warranty, it is, boom, a massive ass paperweight currently. That's what Tech Consult Episode 1 has brought into fruition, essentially. And what a beautiful card has gone to waste. Radeon XFX 6900 XT, beautiful card. This card at almost the height of its costs was around $2,000 Australian. Okay, and it's just a paperweight now. We've diagnosed this. Tech Consult Episode 1, we had a friend of a friend come over with a PC, and this is the remnants of what's left over after going through the process of trying to work out why the whole thing was essentially cycling through. When you pressed on, it was just cycling through and going on the loop of death, on and off, on and off. And essentially there was a error code or an error LED, which was signifying VGA. After checking the ports here, because the graphics card lights up like a motherboard PCB lights up, where you've got a dead motherboard still, and fans are all active and working, but the GPU in this case is either fried or some sort of controller in relation to the video output, which is on all headers, okay, all display outs, okay. Definitely not this slot here, definitely not this slot here. Tried subsequently just some basic graphics cards that run 75 watts off the motherboard PCB, and yeah, that was working fine. Had to try a different power supply, so we used the good old 1200 watt platinum power supply there to fire her up, connected her up. And yeah, because if we have a look on the other side over here, y'all, ooh, messy. This is not one of my PCs. No, it's not. And it was a little tidier. I give credit to the builder where it's due. There's not much space to hide this mess and this kerfuffle of a bird's nest of stuff. But essentially, we've got this 6900 XT running off one interconnected power supply cable. Like, I'm not saying like the gauge of this or the gauge of the wiring, not the gauge, the gauge or the girth of the wires, pretty pissant considering that 12 volt rail has to carry what is essentially the second hungriest current GPU in the marketplace today, be a 3090 or maybe a 3080 Ti as well. They're pretty fucking hungry, frankly. I had one the other day or the other week that was pulling about 340 watts, frankly. So yeah, we've gone through the motion, we've put it back together. We've managed to identify that it's only 1.2 years of age. It should be able to go under warranty, regardless of if it was faulty or not. Seems like the power supply still is working fine in essence. So maybe it was a transient spike. We're not 100% sure what's happening or happened. Maybe it just faulted out itself. It's one of those weird anomalies where sometimes shit happens, and that's unfortunately what's happened here, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So essentially what we've got left to do now is just back a few of the pieces for the gentleman, have it in the state it was, minus the graphics card removed, of course, for warranty purposes. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what's been going on today at Tech Consults episode 1. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to set up the cameras for everything in relation to this. Otherwise, you guys would have seen the montage of me going through a lot of work. But I'm a shadow of my former self, to be brutally honest. And I do not feel flattered in front of the camera currently. So that's another reason I didn't get around to doing what it is I was planning on doing. On a side note, we've got we've got a 4U server chassis case here that we're meant to be setting up a server in relation to my home NAS, which is meant to be massive, considering I am an aspiring tech YouTube wannabe. That means that I need to have there's a lot of raw footage I want to keep for documentation's sake, all this sort of stuff that I do. The last 4 tech consults, otherwise we'd be up to episode 5 now, guys. I haven't bothered recording. Okay, so here's the remnants of my little speaker, which is for diagnostical reasons. Don't get those speakers in the motherboards anymore, but that always helps out, especially when you got just LED basic diagnostics here. You haven't got a digi display, so that really helps. But yeah, unfortunately, can't do much more for the gentleman. I may actually see if I can set it up for the integrated graphics card. It's a 10700K, this system. Okay, so it's not too shabby. Okay, with a 6900 XT, complete and utter shame. But luckily, this was a marketplace buy, okay? And to be brutally honest, very lucky that he came across a gentleman that's got his shit pretty much together, okay? Because it could have easily been someone who just bought sourced secondhand cards and stuff and try to upsell and make more cash on the transaction and whatnot, like some do. Like there are some out there. They will remain nameless for the time being. Some have been exposed, and they do get exposed quite prevalently in PC Master Race, FB Marketplace. It just so happens I run across them, and later on down the track in my proceedings, I run into them. And yeah, I shit you not, this is what occurs just through my analysis of the marketplace and the buyers and sellers of PC parts. Anyway, enough crapping on. I'm going to finish up this PC, put it back together how it was, and yeah, that's a Tech Consult episode 1 in a nutshell. Do we have anything to go home by? Well, this gentleman, because I helped him out, he's going to come back to me in my regards, and we're going to optimize his system, do a proper Tech Consult on the positive end of the spectrum, and get every ounce out of the system we can in relation to what's available. And 10700K really can get some decent clocks, like 5 gigahertz all cores very easily, all day, every day overclock. You get 5, 1, 2, 3, providing cooling's adequate. We've only got a 240 rad here, but it's not too bad. It's not too shonky. I'd probably say for a high overclock you need a 360. But for definitely a daily overclock, we can definitely set up this guy. With his 6900 XT, we'll downvolt that, undervolted, and we'll have him use less power, and then we'll juice it up when time comes, depending on how long he's planning on keeping the system. Otherwise, we'll juice it to its tits, I beg your pardon, sorry ladies, in relation to getting a bit more out of it straight off the bat, depending on how he likes to use the system. We haven't had a chance to, because it's been a nightmare trying to work out why so many other reasons cycling can occur. I was so hopeful it was just that, and by the end of it, I actually thought I diagnosed it as probably the power supply, and yeah, nah, like a goddamn bolt of lightning struck it at some stage and was unnoticed or something. So thanks for joining us at the Techness Corner. I'm just getting into the swing of things. I've taken a bit of a break. I did 100 videos in the calendar year last year, upwards until the last 3 videos I've done, and I'm just doing it for fun now, guys. If you enjoy it, if you get anything out of it, if you need a hand sometimes, you know, I'm a talkative man and I've got plenty of time to spare sometimes. If I am willing, then by all means, otherwise don't push it. But I'm also a helpful fella anyway, so I might make time for you and stuff. And this is where these sort of things come into play. I've been trying to set up content for you all, and I haven't been set up to be able to produce that content. So this is the half-assed attempt of producing that, where I'll go back to my professional way of producing that content sooner rather than later, because a lot of these tech consults are coming through now quite feverishly, and it'd be an opportunity missed if we didn't get to document it for you all, and you guys can see how this works and how best to approach your own necessary tech consults for yourselves and all. Anyway, enjoy the montage of me just finishing up this computer for the next couple of minutes with maybe a banger beat. If not, yeah, peace out, y'all. Bye.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same.
Peace out, y'all.